Kakalosh, Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. We're just going to continue with the halachot of refuah. There's going to be now another few halachot, which is, for example, a refuah that you started before Shabbat, so you're allowed to continue it on the Shabbat. What does that mean? Some people say that if a person started a certain type of, whether it's going to be a type of a medicine, so they're allowed to continue doing it, to continue taking it on Shabbat. They do obviously have what to rely on, especially if this is going to stop the curing process, which means many times it happens that a person will come, they'll start, whether it's going to be a certain type of antibiotics or a certain type of medicine, and if it's going to stop it, right, on Shabbat, it's going to stop the cure. So therefore, he comes over here and he says that it's going to be permitted to take it. This is based upon Rav Shlomo Kluger and the Sefer HaChaim that he says, Margela befume diin shelomar, tim kvar itchila aso berefuot kodam Shabbat, mutar lo lasotam afilu b'Shabbat, v'im lo itchil elo latchil b'Shabbat. So he says, if you're going to start it, you're not allowed to start it on Shabbat. But if you did already start it before Shabbat, so therefore you're allowed to continue it on the Shabbat. And therefore there's not going to be a problem. He wants to compare it to another case of an etiyah. He wants to say that maybe it's not so much, but it's going to be okay. And then it finishes off with the halakha that we mentioned last time, that antibiotics which is taken in order to stop an infection of an internal infection, that is going to be pashut, that you're allowed to even start it on the Shabbat. Because anything which is going to be an internal infection is considered makash el halal, is considered a sickness which is not just stam, that a person has a backache or whatever and then he could just live with it. We're talking about an infection that could actually cause a lot of problems, so therefore antibiotics will be permitted in such a case. Another interesting halakha is as follows. Bimkom mitzvah, right, for a mitzvah, there's no gizera v'isur shechikat samanim. Right, there's not going to be an isur of crushing the medicines, and therefore somebody that has to take, right, special pills, whether it's also even before mitzvah tonah, right, whether it's before the mitzvah. So he says of marital relations, he says it's going to be permitted, and the reason why is because since it's going to be for mitzvah, there's no isur, and the same halakha would apply in order to go to the Bet HaKnesset. What does it mean in order to go to the Bet HaKnesset? So he says, this is actually brought down in the Chazon Ovadia, that somebody asked him. He said it was a person that came and he asked Rav Ovadia, and he said, listen, he has a very minor case of asthma. Now, if he's going to go to the Bet HaKnesset, he's going to have a short breath, and then he's going to have to take the puff. He's going to have to take this medicine. So the question is he allowed to go to the Bet HaKnesset, or should he pray at home and that's it? So he comes and he tells him that he should go to the Bet HaKnesset, but it's not a psik reshe. And even if it says it is a psik reshe, it's going to be in a derabanan. And then anyway, according to Minchas Yitzchak, any time that it's going to be for a mitzvah that we just mentioned beforehand, it would be permitted. So since it's going to be permitted because it's sort of mitzvah, you're allowed to do so. The last halakha that we'll mention is going to be, what about a refuah she'ena nikeret? What does that mean? A refuah which is not recognizable that you're doing a refuah. So he comes and he says it's going to be permitted. So for example, somebody that has a miktzat choli, right? He's got a little bit of a sickness. Because remember, a choleh shebo sakana, which means that somebody that could fall to bed because they're already ill, they're allowed to take certain medicines. But here we're talking about that it's only a little small migraine, something, not a big deal. Rashai le'arev me'erev Shabbat trufa b'mashkeh u'ma'achal. They're allowed to mix a medicine with food or a drink on Erev Shabbat that it's not nikar, and then in Shabbat they're allowed to eat it or to drink it. Why? Because now, since it's not nikar, the refuah, which means it's not discernible, right? You cannot actually see the refuah. You put the refuah and you mixed it, and now you're coming on Shabbat, you're eating it, right? Even a regular person might eat it, they don't even realize, right? So therefore, in such a case, refuah shena nikeret, there's no gezerah shechikat sabunim, and therefore it's going to be permitted for them to actually take this refuah on Shabbat. Wonderful.